today's notes, yes. Want to close the mic? All right, I'll close. All right. So for the notes for today, like at the bottom of where we left off yesterday, like I'm just gonna add something small to it. So right where we left off yesterday, like right at the bottom, do me a favor and write pyramids slash cone. So pyramid slash cones. Like I said, we're gonna add that to the bottom of our notes. We're just gonna add the formula for the volume of pyramids and cones. Like yesterday, we talked about the volume of prisms and cylinders. So now for today, we're gonna go volume, and then we have to come up with the formula. So yesterday, let me see. Yesterday we had prisms and cylinders. Here with you guys today, I brought a prism and I brought a pyramid. So, like here we can see that they're the same height. They're the same height. And then for me to show you they are the same base, have a little square. I'm going to put on the prism, the same square. I'll put it on the pyramid. So we can agree that the square is the same, the base is the same. Now my question to you is, right now, how many pyramids, because I'm going to measure the space inside with water, so I'm going to fill it up. How many times do you think I'm going to fill up the pyramid to fill up the prism? So one pyramid will fill up the whole twice. All right, let's find out. So let me fill up my pyramid once. Six would be less than half.
Three.
Four times.
Three. You know what? 20 times. So we can do that.
2.5 right here. All right. Let's go for a second time.
Three. Four.
All right, let's go for a third time. So Celeste, this is her like fourth or fifth number that she calls out. Three times. All right, guys. So there's three pyramids in one prism. Our eye kind of looks two of them, but there's really three. All right. I have a cylinder and I have a cone. Same height. Same height, and I can show you the same base. So I'm going to take the circle from one and put it on the other. So I'll say there's three cones, there's three of these, and one cylinder. You guys believe me? No? So I'll say there is three. Do you believe me or you want me to show you?
Show me the three.
No trust. There's no trust in here. All right. One class didn't trust me earlier. Well, 6 period, yes. Little trust from you guys. So there's one. There's two. I wonder if it will overspill. Just in case, I'm going to do it right here on top of Sierra's desk. Three. So there's three. Now, when I had a prism, there were three pyramids in it. As you notice, I filled out three times. So in one prism, there's three pyramids. We know the formula for a prism is base times height. What do you guys think we do for the pyramid? What is it? So we start with base and height, yes. Let me leave a space in before base and height. So yeah, we have to go base and height. But remember, base and height give me a prism. But in a prism, I have three pyramids. So what can I do to get one pyramid? Not one half. One third. Or divide by three, you're going to say? Yes. So the formula is going to be the volume. The volume for a pyramid or a cone is going to be one third times base and height. And the one third, because once again, we fill it up in three times. If you guys Google for the formula, sometimes they say base times height divided by 3. But that's the same thing, right? One third or divided by 3 is the same thing. Alright, so this is what I wanted you guys to add on your notes. Divided by 3 or hold it just a second. The formula I'm going to use is going to be one third times base and height. That's it. That's the formula I'm going to use. Alright, once again, this is all I wanted you guys to add on your notes. So let's take a look at our worksheet. Find the volume of each figure. Round your answer to the nearest hundred if necessary. There will be some decimals today, so make sure your decimals rounded to the nearest hundred, which means 2 decimal places. So obviously look at the third decimal place. And leave your answer attempt to apply for answers that contain pi. For space, let me take the instructions away. So volume of a pyramid is one third times base times height. One third is just one third. For those of you using calculators, one third is 1 divided by 3. Right? Don't just write 0.33. You will have to put all the 3. So for those of you that are using calculators, just go 1 divided by 3. That's one third. Then I'm going to multiply it by the base. The base is a triangle. And I know for the triangle, the two numbers that will give me the area of the triangle are the two numbers across at 90 degrees, which in this case is 8 and 6. But it is a triangle, so don't forget 1 half times 8 times 6. The half because a triangle is half of a rectangle. And then the height in this case is 8. You can see the height is right there. I know for surface area we use slanted height. Remember I used to come and say it was the height slanted. And back then I did mention the actual height is from the center all the way up. But back then we didn't use it. We use it for volume. We have it now. Alright, then just multiply that out. 1 divided by 3 times 1 half times 8 times 6 times 8 should give you 64. Multiply it out, should give you guys 64. If you guys are using the unit, it's inches to the third power. Volume is always the third. Because technically on the base, it was inches squared. On the height, it's inches. So inches squared times inches is inches to the third. That's it. That's all we do. Let's take a look at question number 2. Volume is 1 third times the base times the height. So 1 third is just 1 third, right? 1 divided by 3. The base is a circle. The radius is 8 because it's only from the center out. The radius is 8, so I'm going to call this 64 pi. It's 8 squared. That's how I got the 64. Right? The area of a circle is radius squared, pi. So 64 pi. And then the height is 16. And if you stand it on the circle, the height is 16. So we're going to go 1 third. So 1 divided by 3 times 64 times 16. Now this was going to give you decimal. What do you guys get? round it to the nearest hundred, so 2 decimal places. What do you guys get? 1 divided by 3 times 64 times 16. What is it?
341.
341 point and another 3. Because remember, we said round it to the nearest hundred, so 2 decimal places. So 341.33 pi. Not forget our pi. Once again, if you guys are using units, it's miles cubed or cubic miles. Alright. Let's take a look at any questions better yet. Remember, volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. 6? Alright. Looking at number 6. 1/3 is just 1/3. 1 divided by 3 if you're using your calculator. The base is a pentagon. And I know the area of the base is 1/2 times hypotenuse times perimeter. So 1/2. The hypotenuse is 7.6. The perimeter, since each side is 11, and there's 5 of them, I'm going to say the perimeter is 11 times 5. So all this inside the parentheses, that's the area of the base. 1/2 times hypotenuse times perimeter. And then the height of this is 11. I'm talking from this 11. Multiply that out. So 1/3 times 1/2 times 76 times 11 times 5 times 11. What do you get? 766.33. Alright, but and then if you're using your units, you're looking at cubic meters, basically meters to the third. And volume is to the third. I don't mind if you skip the units. The first one, I'll get back to you after we finish. Number 9. Let's take a look at 9. Volume, remember, is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So 1/3 is just 1/3. The base is a triangle where the two numbers across the 90 degrees are 8 and 6. So I'm going to go 1/2 times 8 times 6. That gives me the triangle. Remember, triangles have a half. Bless you. The triangles have the half because it's the half of a rectangle. So for you that have rectangles, don't use half on rectangle. And then the height of this is 11. Now multiply that out. What do you guys get? 88. This one doesn't have decimals. It's just 88. So remember, if you have decimals, some of them will be decimals, as you notice. If you have decimals, round it to the nearest hundred, which obviously means 2 decimal places. Okay. 7. So volume, remember, 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. 1/3 is just 1/3. The base is a rectangle. The two numbers that make 90 degrees are 8 and 8. So I'm just going to go 8 times 8. Remember, there's no half on rectangle. And then the height of this is 6. You guys see the height is 6. What do you guys get? What is it? 128. Good? Okay. Any questions? Simple? Alright, let me take it all really quick.